Hello everyone, it's Tonya with Scribbles in Time. I hope everyone's doing great. I wanted to drop in and do a video of my latest journal. I had started off, I had done Simply Grace a little over a week ago, and I think I posted the video about a week ago, and I was going to do actually 3 journals in what I was going to call the Grace series, and this was Simply Grace, and then I was going to do Saving Grace and Amazing Grace, and Amazing Grace was going to be the larger of the 3 of the series. But for some reason, I don't know, I can't always put it into words when I'm feeling I guess led to do a specific project. But I went ahead and pulled out the bigger box. What I've done is y'all know my system. I've said it before in other videos. I go through and I fill up, I have a wooden bowl, oblong bowl thing that I fill up with things that inspire me and lead me for a particular journal. And then I try to use everything that's in that bowl for that journal. Well, I started on this one, which was supposed to be Amazing Grace, and I'm not even sure that I'll do the 3rd journal. I'm back and forth on it. I'm really excited to start a different style that I've been thinking about doing for a little while now, and I'm feeling led in that direction. So anyway, Simply Grace sold. It sold as soon as the video uploaded, and thank you so much for all of your support on that. And the lady who bought Simply Grace messaged me and said that she was out of town and was going to be out of town for just a little bit and did not want this to get shipped yet because she didn't want it, sitting on her front step until she got home. So I have been holding this journal. I already had it completely wrapped up to ship. And then I reached out to her yesterday and asked her if I could show it in this video next to Amazing Grace, just so you can see a comparison of size. This is pretty much my normal journal size that I typically do. This is just, I gave all the measurements in the video, but I just wanted you to see just how massive in comparison Amazing Grace is. And Amazing Grace, the reason I wanted to do such a thick journal is because I have a box on my coffee table. It's a wooden box. I can't remember where it says memories on the top, and I now have it full of all my zipper pulls that are in my Etsy shop. But anyway, the box is just a real pretty wooden box, but I started trying to envision sitting a book in its place that's like the same size as that box. So that was kind of where I was going with this particular journal. I'm going to go ahead and set Simply Grace out of the way. I just wanted you to kind of see how they compare in size and in style. They definitely coordinate. There's the spines of both. And where I did the little leather touches on this one here, I did the leather touches on page tabs for this one. And you can't hardly see them. It's hard to catch everything on camera. But anyway, my point to all of that was, let me set this one out of the way now. And yeah, so I wanted this to be a lot of elements to it that I can't explain what my envision was, but I'm so thrilled with this one. So she is called Amazing Grace. She will be available. I probably will not list her until tomorrow in my Etsy. The way I think I'm going to do my Etsy is typically I will probably upload videos and then I'll probably wait about a day because if anyone has interest in the item, obviously that would be preferable for me. But I also want to stock up my Etsy shop, so at the same time, I may be able to get this one loaded tomorrow, just depending on whether or not she sells before that. So if she's not in my Etsy is Scribbles in Time. But if she's not in my Etsy, I would say by midday tomorrow, then the odds are she may have sold. I do have an email for Scribbles in Time. I think it's scribblesintime@gmail.com. But I haven't really been giving that out because I'm not real good. If y'all look at my comments, I read every single comment. I'm going to go back and respond to all of the comments. I truly feel like I have made so many friends. You know, just I feel like I've gotten to know so many people, but I'm not doing really well at responding to comments. It's because most of the time when I'm reading the comments, I'm not in a position where I can type to respond. But anyway, I'm trying to get better. I have created an Instagram. It's also Scribbles in Time. And I am trying to get better with technology. I promise I am. But truthfully, I'm an artist and I just love to sit and create. And but I am trying to get better, and I do love you all so much. And thank you all so much for your support. My whole point to that was this will be going into my Etsy shop tomorrow. Probably midday tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, and I do not know the date. I think today is August the 4th, I believe. I'm filming with my phone, so I can't even look at my phone to see. But anyway, okay, so with Amazing Grace, let me go ahead and kind of show you. I've been trying to kind of rotate her as I was talking. But she is a big girl. She's about 8¼ inches tall. That's not counting all of the overhanging stuff. And then wide, she is about 6½, but then she has this handle on her, which is brings her to 7 inches. But mostly she is like a box in that she is very tall. She's very deep. So like if you set this on your coffee table, it's almost like a box sitting there. She is probably one of the thickest books I've ever made, and she is about right at 6 inches when you include the height of this pen. She's right at 6 inches. I think I made her spine right at 5 inches, 4¾ I believe. And let's talk about the spine. So on the spine, I have used more of the snippet roll, which I have been having so much fun. My friend Dee gave me, she gifted me the snippet rolls, and I have been talking to her. She has been trying to create a YouTube channel. So I would love it if y'all would show her some love, please. Right now, she has not posted her first video. She's working on that, I think, today. But anyway, she is fixing to start posting videos. She is so talented, and I really hope that y'all will please go over to her channel. It's called The Paper Drawer, and I will try to post the link below. Again, I'm not great with technology, but I'm getting there. But anyway, so I used her snippet roll here to make the spine. And if you remember on Simply Grace, I put a piece of the snippet roll coming down the front of the cover. So again, I just tried to make this series of Grace coordinate. So that's kind of how I tied all that together a little bit. And then there's a few more things in here. But I didn't want to duplicate. I wanted to correlate. So that's kind of the route I went with this one. She does still have the pale blue, kind of a robin's egg blue cover there. And then a beigey cover behind her. And that is a complete book there. And this is probably the thickest journal I've ever done on the inside of one of my art books. In fact, I know it is. I've never created a journal this thick to go inside of one of my art books. I mean, if you can see from the top, that is a thick journal there on the front. You can hear the bell jingling. This is a rustic old bell that I bought off of Etsy, hanging out of the center of one of the signatures in this book. I believe this is a 2-signature journal. And then I did one of the little pearl style beads there hanging out as well, because I thought not only did it coordinate with the one that I did out of Simply Grace, it also coordinates with these little beads. I stitched some of the seed beads, the little pearl colored seed beads across the top here. You'll see that I did some of the little rope mats. I call them rope rugs. I hand stitched, you can kind of see the wax thread there. I hand stitched these little handmade rugs, and I love to fray the top like that so that it gives dimension to the top. And then this beautiful pen here, and I hope that that is showing up good. It has this beautiful little crystal in the center that has the different colors in it. I normally know what that's called, but you know, when the camera's going, your mind doesn't work right. So I can't think of it right now. I used the buckles that I have in my Etsy shop here because I thought that the little crystals that are on those coordinated perfectly and adds that pretty elegant pop to the cover. And then coming down this spine of the book is some upholstery fabric, and the color of that coordinates with this book cover here, so that it kind of pulls your eyes to the center. You don't have anything kind of pulling you either direction. And then I did ruffle trim at the bottom, and a little fabric tag here with just a touch of blue. You'll see that there's a little fabric tag back here with blue stitching on it. And back here I did the cigar label on this last page, and I've never really noticed that it is trimmed in a pale blue, but it's the perfect color for that. So that's across the back, but in person your eye is seeing all of this. I just don't know how well it's showing up on camera. This handle here, I love, love, love doing nature hikes. I love going for little, walking nature trails. I'm not a big jogger or anything like that. I just love nature. I love going on nature hikes. So several years ago for my birthday, which is in October, which sometimes is a little bit comfortable in Georgia. Oftentimes it's still hot in October, but my birthday is October 16th. And so one year for my birthday, several years ago, my husband took me to Tallulah Gorge for us to do a hike of the gorge, and it was amazing, beautiful, everything I can imagine. But I found this rusty handle in the ground there, and this was before I started doing junk journals. And so I wasn't picking things up off the ground then. so anyway, I found this, and it was just barely, if I remember correctly, it was like one of the little ends was poking up out of the ground, and it caught my eye. And I dug it up, and I've always loved odd things. I always have. My house is full of weird, odd things. I just love unusual items. So anyway, I dug this up, and I've had it in I have this pewter bowl on my mantle, and it has what I call odd stuff in it. But anyway, I've had that in my pewter bowl, and I love this handle. But I did not have it in the wooden bowl to use on this journal, but for some reason I kept thinking about this handle. So I went and got the handle out and incorporated it here on the edge of this writing journal so that it shows here on the front. And yeah, I love the way that looks. There's just such a, I know for others that story is like whatever, but for me, just that day that I found this, I didn't know what in the world I was picking it up for, and it's so fun to me now to recognize the new life that it has. It was just in the dirt waiting to be found, and I'm so happy with it. Anyway, I did put some gesso over the top, this kind of different places, and layered it with some paper behind these little rugs. And then yeah, I've already pointed out what's hanging out of the writing journal there. And then hanging out of the art portion of the journal are these two. Y'all have heard me say before, this is, I think, fishing lures. I really don't know. I found it in my father-in-law's stuff. And have a handful left, so I'm hoarding those a little bit. And this is a rose charm that coordinates with the one on Simply Grace. And I'm not going to lie, I had a hard time using this one. Somebody reached out, a dear lady reached out to me on Etsy and asked me where I had found this when she had saw the video for Simply Grace. And I did not realize, but the packaging on it said 2011. I went back and found the packaging so I could send her a picture of it. And it was 2011, and apparently they've been discontinued. So I went on eBay trying to help her find them, and she did end up finding some on her, I think, marketplace, she said. But anyway, my point is I now only have, I think, one left. And so I'll probably use it in a journal of mine if I don't end up keeping this one. I'll keep this one if she doesn't sell. But anyway, on the spine, I did do one of the metal plates here across the top of the spine. It says 1774. And then on the back, this material that I brought across. I stitched on with some old buttons. And this book that I used, again, this was a book I have been hoarding. I pulled her out to use for Amazing Grace. I put her in the little bowl that I had to use for Amazing Grace, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet because I knew I did not want to cover. This was the front of the book, and I knew I did not want to cover the front of the book. So I really struggled with that, and then it just, you know, it hit me like, why do I have to cover it? This can be the back of the book. So what I did was I used this as the back cover because I always have to reconstruct my books anyway. The spines are never wide enough for my purpose. So I used this as the back of the book, and I folded the spine in on itself and created a little pencil holder, paintbrush holder kind of thing. So there's a paintbrush kind of poking out of the top. The pencil, I tied a little piece of cord around. Not only is it cool showing from the bottom, but that way, if it were to get pushed in, it wouldn't get lost. But the cord kind of stops it from getting pushed in too far, if that makes any sense. And then these are the old buttons that I put on the inside of the back cover to oppose these where I stitched that on. Okay, so that's the back of the book, the bottom of the book, side view, and top view. I've already shown you several times. And so I think that pretty well covers the outside of the book. I put these little pearls here because typically, you know, I usually put the little glass vials with a little touch of this pearl seed beads in that, just to draw the eye. But on this one, like I said, I wanted to do the handle, so I stitched these little seed beads on to a piece of fabric behind there and then paper on the top. I didn't want the fabric to show. And so I stitched that on and put it there to just add some more dimension. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip her open. You're going to hear the bell ringing the whole time. So when you flip her open, I did put another piece of the snippet here. I always like to talk about what your eye goes to immediately when she's flipped open. And for me, my eye immediately goes to the variation of colors. I still have a lot of the beiges and whites and creams showing, but I wanted to add color, but I didn't want the color to be too noticeable from the outside. So what I mean by that is when she's open, I can see a little pop of red there. Obviously the brown and the blue, the green here. And then if you take this stuff out, there's even a little, it barely shows, but there's a little pop of orange here. And honestly, I don't know if I can, oh yeah, here it is here. I had this in my little wooden bowl to attach here, like that. But I wasn't sure if orange is even, this is kind of a rusty orange. So I had that there to attach like that. But I wasn't even sure if that's a color that anyone would like that gets the journal. So I'm putting it to the side. If anyone's watching this and ends up buying this journal, if you want me to attach this there, I'm happy to do it. I just wasn't comfortable attaching it, and then it may not be a color that someone likes. It would be pretty there too, but I'm scared if I put it there, it would show from the outside. So anyway, what I ended up doing on the cover of this book, to be honest, I didn't love the name. So I didn't want to hide the cover because I love the original age of this book. I used the spine and everything, which typically I don't use the spine right here. Usually I make my own spine, but I wanted to use the spine because I was making the journal so thick. And but anyway, I didn't love the name of the book, and I think it says common words that are, I don't even remember, but it had something to do with English or something. And anyway, so I just wanted to you can still see it if you lift this up. This is attached down. You'll see there's stitching around this. I used the inside paper of another old book and attached it here with this little brown fabric cording and old buttons here, and just aged up and layered it and put that there. And then inside of it, I thought the stamps coordinated so well. I got these old envelopes, a whole bunch of them from my friend Selena at Amore Fabriques. Love her. I love her dearly, and I love her shop. So y'all check her out too. By the way, before I go any further, let me say I have bought some really cool things from shops on Etsy. So every so often I like to try to do a video and kind of do an Etsy share of some shops that I have found, just in case some of you have not found them yet or discovered them yet. Most of the shops that I mentioned have already a huge following, so it's probably places that you've already heard of anyway. But I am going to do a little short video and share some Etsy shops that I found. I bought a cool journal. I'm always showing stuff from like Rust Paper Scissors, and now hopefully my friend Dee will have hers up and running. But anyway, I am going to do an Etsy share and show some things that I have purchased on Etsy, just to kind of help y'all find cool things in case y'all haven't stumbled across some of the places I have. And I just also like to support other Etsy shops. And if you don't know me already, then one of the things I do, I definitely am a huge supporter of fellow crafters, fellow artists. We're all out here together, just trying to enjoy our lives, and I hope that we all support each other. My video is 21 minutes. I need to stop rambling. So when you open this up, I was just trying to point out that you can then see other colors coming into play. And I tried to even hide that red that's on the cigar label so that it didn't show from the outside when the book is closed. I wanted the blue to show and the cream, but not the red. So you'll see that the paper hides the red right there, and this tab hides it right there when the book's laying flat. So anyway, on the inside here, I did a bunch of what I call fabric snippets so that you can cut off and use pieces. Now this is the compass. I think I have a few of these in my shop, but this is the compass. I love The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and it has that on the inside of it. And I'm guessing it's a working compass. I don't really use compasses, so I don't know, but it seems to be a working compass. And it screws back on like that. And I just love these. That's what the front looks like. And I made this little pouch here to kind of slide it in, because I wanted it to show, but I also wanted it to have a way to kind of be caught in there. It falls in the space of this thick journal and the art book. But if it's taken out, that still looks pretty just like that. And what I did here is I did a bunch of little snippet pieces. My thoughts were, whoever uses this book as an art journal, if they don't paint or sketch or use these pages for, like painting and sketching and that kind of thing, they may want to do clusters. And so I wanted to put a lot of the coordinating little fabrics that I had used in the journal in here so that you can snip off pieces to use in your clusters. So I kind of stitched all this in with the signatures, but once it's all used up and gone, I wanted it to still have a pretty element, so you can always unpin this little pouch and put the pouch here with the compass there, or you can leave that out, whatever. But I put this beautiful hat pin. I'm not going to try to take it out because my video is already getting too long, but it is removable. I left that little area right there so that this can slide in and out. And this is, it feels like porcelain, this flower. Let me hold it up. I got that at an antique store in Fayetteville, Georgia. And it feels like porcelain petals and a little leaf tip right there showing. Beautiful pen. It's a hat pen. And so that's there. And then I used one of the old laundry pins there to just attach this little pouch that holds the compass. Over here is the journal. I'm going to try to start going fast because this video is getting way too long. I've been talking too much. I'm so sorry. Typical me. But I did, again, this is a full journal here. I can't remember the number of writing surfaces. You can count as I flip. I will go back through and count and put in the Etsy listing. But for the video, I don't remember. This is some really cool coffee stained fabric. It does have some age spots on it as well. I put one of the Viewmasters here as a flip, and I did just a little pad of paper. Jesus knows the voice of your heart. Again, I wanted Jesus to show in the through the little hole, so I kind of did that to where that showed. I bought all of these from think she's called the Hopeful Bird. I'll try to do her in that video that I'm going to share of the different Etsy shops I found. But the Hopeful Bird, she has these little typed up pieces of snippet papers. I love those. I have them laying around. I bought a bunch of these, and I literally have them laying around my house. I just love them. Anyway, some washi tape here. This flips. Here's a little bit of a writing surface, and there's a piece of masking tape there. Some vintage fabric there. Vintage book page from, I think it's Old World Books out of Russia. Beautiful trim coming down that. I don't know if you can see, but that's a little, like a cherub. This is a card, blank on the inside, with a beautiful windmill on it. A fabric little bow here with red dots. And I don't know if you can tell, but I, again, was trying to tie together the different colors. The cherub has some little red there in her dress, the little red dots there, and the little pinky red ticket there. So I was just trying to, again, tie colors together. A ticket there. This is a beautiful, I don't know what it is. I think it probably went on a collar or something, but it's rounded at the top. A little tea time ticket. I don't know whose this was. It came in some Happy Mail that I've received. So I don't know. I think it came with a journal, like in a card, a thank you card or something. This is a box that I have cut down and used here. And I put a little hole with a little yellow tab there. This is a, and this is where the bell's hanging from. A little ticket here. I folded up this bag. This is a hot dog bag that I have grunged up. And I love it because hot dog bags have this, you know, cellophane or whatever center. And so I love that. And so I put a little bookmark in here. It's beautiful either way. You can do it this way where she shows. I personally liked her because she had this white dress, and so I love the white popping out there. And she has the little red flower in her hair. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a glare on it. Tonya. Okay, so ticket in there. The brown fabric that I used on the front, I used here as a little tab. And also, you'll see farther back, there's another one. Pale blue, like deposit slip paper with washi tape hinged on. Here's the other side of that box where I attached that bag. The other side of that piece of fabric that had the rounded piece. This is some beautiful, beautiful old trim. Love that fabric. A beautiful cherub there. This one had more of the brown tones. This is the other side of that card with the windmill on it. This is a beautiful ruffle trim. I'm trying to remember, I think she changed the name of her shop and her site, so I haven't really gotten used to it yet because I haven't been able to be on YouTube a whole lot. I think it's Junk Journal Inspirations has these. Anyway, she sent this to me when I made a journal further back out of items that she had sent me. But I just like the way the blues tied together there, like that. I used another little piece of it further back. And this is some really cool trim here. Some eyelet coming down that page. And then this is, I don't know what, it's beautiful though. It has stitching on it. Just a beautiful piece. And then some ruffle there. The other side of that Russian book page. And then the other part of the box. So this was a box that you folded it and created your own box. These were pieces that you can fold. And so I just literally folded it together and created a page with it. And so with this one, then in the center of this signature, here's that pearl bead. And then I did kind of a similar thing. I used a little old book page tab there. And then this is another one of the bookmarks. Either side is beautiful. Either one is beautiful showing through, but I went with that one. Another piece of the ruffle. Butterfly that I thought coordinated so perfectly with that trim. I hope that's showing on camera. So I used the butterfly as the tab there. This is just a fabric tag, a piece of trim there, a vocabulary card there, and then this is the back. This is a piece of tablecloth, I believe, and I did use a piece of this in Simply Grace. And then there's where the journal attaches onto the art book, and all the little fabric snippets there. And then we're going to move over into the art book. So I wrapped an old, thin, beautiful handkerchief around the first signature. You'll see it more on the other side. And then this is all watercolor paper that I have grunged up, and I've added some paint and gesso. The leather tabs, I did those to look like they were torn off of something. So I put this fabric on them. I have a leather tab that I tore off of something a long time ago, and I don't know where it's at. It was right here on my desk. It was in that bowl for me to use in here, but the problem was, and it had the fabric where I had torn it off of something. The problem was I only had one, and it was a slightly different shade of leather, and I didn't like it. It had too much of a red tone to it. So I replicated it. I have a lot of leather here. I love doing leather work. So I have leather here. And so I just replicated the tab so that I could use 3. And then there's fabric coming down. I've said it before, but if this is your first time watching, I always try to put fabric on my watercolor paper. It can be trimmed off. I usually leave the edges to where you can paint underneath and then have the fabric overlap your painting. Or you can take some little scissors and snip it off if you choose to. But that way, if water rolls down while you're painting, I don't want it to compromise the paper. I put one of my zipper pulls up here, and this still had the little zipper attachment to it. Some of them do. I have a whole bunch of these zipper pulls. So anyway, I just attached the whole piece here so that it shows from the outside of the journal. Beautiful crocheted piece. More watercolor paper, and this is where I attach the 2 charms that hang out at the bottom. I don't know how well this is showing, but I have a little piece of ribbon there to look like a bow. And this is the fabric tab up here. And then these paper ruffles, y'all, I bought these from Lynn with, oh my goodness, my mind has gone blank. I love her dearly. I watch her all the time. I've always been called the artist of my family. And my sister picks on me and says it makes me weird because I think I recognize the trait that I think a lot of artists have, not all of us, but I started taking art when I was like, well, I started at 9. I started with calligraphy and did not ever do very well at calligraphy. But anyway, oh my gosh, y'all, I cannot believe I can't think of the name of her shop. I did have her little card that came with her stuff laying here, and now I've moved it when I was setting up to film. A bit of birdsong, I think. Anyway, I love her because to me, she has that artist soul, and I love that when I recognize that in a person. I think that what my sister recognizes in my personality, and a lot of artists has this, we tend to, I call it squirrel. Yeah, we have thoughts going through our mind all the time of ideas, and I think we look at the world in a different way. Other people, you know, can be walking and see trees and just be seeing trees. I think a lot of us who have that artist tendency in our spirit, we look at it and we see ideas and we see art. And I'm just going to be flipping while I talk. I'll come back to some of this. But anyway, my point is, I love watching. I think it's a bit of birdsong. And I have been, so anyway, my point was I ordered the paper ruffle from her. I again, want to try to support her in any way that I can. Y'all, please, I'm sure most of you have probably already heard of her. But if you have not, go over and find her video. She is so fun. Oh, here's the packaging to the paper. Birdsong is what the packaging says. But I think it's called A Bit of Birdsong. I'll try to link her below. But anyway, she's just a really cool artist. Regardless, I'm going to be putting her in my Etsy share video that I'm doing. But anyway, here's the other side of that handkerchief. Thin, thin, and beautiful. The crocheted piece starts the net signature, and it's a big round piece. I think it's a placemat, and so I've wrapped it in a way that it hangs out from the top and bottom and shows. And then another of the leather tags there with the fabric to make it look like it's been ripped off of something. And then the bag here, and inside of this, look how cool. Oh, this was one of those things I did not want to get rid of. It's so cool. I think it's the inside. I mean, I think it's the cover. It is hard. It's like cardstock or something, but it's like it's probably a magazine cover. I've never even read the inside, to be honest. But I've put that in this bag, and then their little bonnets kind of stick up a little bit and look like a little tab inside of the bag. Of course, the bag has handles, but this is just an envelope. I think it's from the 81. And I just put some hand stitching. I did a flower. I'm not great at it. I enjoy doing it when I'm just sitting and doing nothing. But I've stitched a flower onto the, with some little buds down here. I've stitched that onto the envelope. And then I attached fabric to the back of it so that as I stitched, it wouldn't tear the paper. And then I created a pocket on this bag with it. This I received from someone in something I bought on Etsy. And I just slid that down into that pocket so that it pokes out because I like the color. I just love the way it coordinated. And then inside of the bag, I used this old playing card box. I think I got this from Selena at Amour Fabrics, but it's a box. It was a box of playing cards. Here, I'll show you so it was a box of playing cards. And I used the top of the box and made kind of a little book cover. These are some really cool playing cards. Look how precious. Look. So precious. I need to put some of these in my Etsy shop. They're really cute. Anyway, this old film slide here. I don't even know. I've never seen them this small, but how cool is that? And I kind of just tucked it in right there. And then I put this in so that the box showed. No, I did it this way, so that the paper and the box shows. And then that kind of ties that together. More fabric, more watercolor paper. Here's the crochet trim. And then this beautiful piece here. I guess I was in a rambling mood today, so I'm so sorry this video is so long. I've been trying to do better, I promise. So this is the book that I was saying. So it's Common Words Commonly Misspelled. And that was the one where I was saying I didn't love the title of that showing right when you opened up this journal. Because, I mean, it's not that I dislike the title, but it did not to show right when you open up the journal. Sometimes the names of books will distract you from, you know, what you're looking at. So for some reason that distracted me. It doesn't bother me. I just didn't want it to be a focal point when you open this up. So anyway, but here it is. Common Words Commonly Misspelled. This had to have a place in this journal because, first of all, I wanted the person to be able to see the copyright date, but the other side here, somebody had written their name in it, and y'all know how I feel about that. So I attached these with, I laminated it. Now I put the flowers there just for interest with some aged tape. And I laminated this because it had to be part of this book. It just had to be. So anyway, that's the original pages from this book here, the one that's used for the journal. This is the cigar box label. I've already talked about that. Anything that's on these pages, so I say it in other videos, but you can gesso over. Gesso, you can paint with that on there. It's just an extra layer. But in this book, I was thinking of collages and collaging, and this all adds layers. So that's kind of the purpose there. And again, I left all the fabric snippets back here too. And you can snip this stuff off and use it as extra tabs on these. I left a lot of pages with no tabs on them. That's not like me, but I did it so that somebody can add their own. And but then I also included all that little tidbits of fabric that coordinate with the other items that are in the book, so that you can snip off and use them the way you want. And so here is the back. I've already showed you that earlier in the video, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of end this up. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Thank you for watching. You know I love you all. I pray that you are all safe and healthy. I do pray for everyone. Stay healthy and safe, and y'all have a blessed day. I'll try to put some of the links that I've mentioned down below, but I will be doing a follow-up video and sharing some Etsy shops. I have an amazing journal I want to share that I purchased on Etsy. I've already started journaling in it, and my problem is I've put a lot of photographs in it because I'm using it more like a little photo album, because she already embellishes her pages so much. If anyone buys this, let me know if you want this little flower attached or not. Anyway, so my struggles with showing the journal is just that I've put pictures all in it, and I don't normally mind pictures showing. I've got one journal, I think it's called A Chunk of Love, that I posted back when I first started making junk journals. I posted a journal, I think it's called My Chunk of Love, and it was my journey to the Holy Land, and it had a lot of pictures of me and my husband showing, but I think that's the only time I've ever shown pictures of me or my husband or any family members in a journal. And this next one has a lot of pictures of family members that I just don't know if they would want their pictures out there. So anyway, I am going to link her flip through of the journal though at some point when I do that follow-up video. In the meantime, y'all have a blessed day. If you're interested in Amazing Grace, please reach out and let me know. I have Etsy. It's Scribbles in Time. I've already mentioned that. And yeah, y'all have a peaceful day and a blessed day.